Step back and watch the step.
My bad for the disrespect.
You want 17 birds? Big
By not
ring,
playing
I play
this
for
over the
17
countdown.
birds. In my line, if you want 17 birds, big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy if you want 17 birds, big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy if you want 17 birds.
This go tough.
Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. Yeah, I'm from the 17th curb. I'm a G. I know how a G17 works. I'm a beast. I done moved grass all on this turf. Before the pandemic, face mask gonna work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to GOAT Talk. It's your boy Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you. Got my guy Philly Mike in the building. Training camp is on the horizon. So what do? We decide to tap in with you all and hear what we got to talk about, man. So what's going on, Mike? What's up with you today?
Hey, I'm hanging in there. Training camp is really, really close. This is where we get to get some of our answers before the season starts.
Facts. I mean, we got other sources we can get our answers from. Like, if we want to, we can listen to Tiki Barber. We can listen to, you know what I mean? We can listen to Tiki Barber. Like, you know, this is what I've been talking about, Mike. Like media manipulation. It doesn't seem forced to you. Like a lot of the like going out of your way to say he stinks. I heard from this person, from that person. It ain't nobody saying that they seen it with their own eyes. That's what's starting to really bother me. Everybody got all these connections, but you giving me he say, she say about the progress of another quarterback. Immediately when I seen the title, shout out to Dan. You know, Dan put that up. Dan's Big Sill, you know, Jacket Media. Immediately when I saw it, I'm like, why are we not hearing about Daniel Jones from Tiki Barber?
Right?
You know what I mean? Why are we not hearing about that dude who's done absolutely nothing but somehow to continue to get job security, and he's been trash? Has he ever even thrown for 3,000 pass yards in the season? I mean, what's up with I just don't get it, Mike. But you know, it is what it is. What was your thoughts initially? I seen some of your video, but like, do you think it's forced or not at this point?
Yeah, I think, you know, they're trying to slow the Eagles hype train with how great our offseason is. And they're trying to still put a damper by saying your guys' quarterback is questionable. Well, a lot of 23-year-old quarterbacks are questionable. And in my video, I pretty much elaborated. We know what Jalen Hurts needs to work on, but one of the things I do not think is a problem is his arm strength. Is he the fastest, the top tier? Maybe not. I got him in the middle of the pack. I did see coming out the Senior Bowl, both Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts were clocked for their velocity, and Jalen Hurts had a 47 point something, and Justin Herbert had a 43 point something. All I'm saying is this: Herbert's the better thrower of the football when you look at accuracy and timing and all that, but Jalen Hurts can throw the ball adequately like everybody else in the NFL. It's not, and that's why I don't like the noodle arm. Yeah, talk about his accuracy, talk about his completion percentage if you want to, and that has to get better. We all know that, and so does he. But to throw the football, he does it like the other 32 quarterbacks, and that's why he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. So I don't like the narrative that he has a noodle arm, meaning that he can't make all the throws. He can throw it wherever he needs to. It just got to be done with time and anticipation and just consistency.
I mean, you know, at this point, I just think they're gonna say whatever they want at this point, because you can look at tape and see that there's no. Let me explain to the people who might have just now be hearing this term noodle arm. When I play football, that's a guy who has a weak arm, who's throwing ducks, who just can't throw who can't throw a ball far. Pretty much, that's a noodle arm. We know Jalen Hurts don't have that. If you pay attention and you listen to, you know, one of the first pressers AJ Brown gave as a Philadelphia Eagle, what was one of the things he said about Jalen Hurts? Strong arm. The ball gonna get there. Strong arm. You know what I mean? Now, if his velocity is the same as Josh Allen's, you know what I mean? What does that tell me? That Josh Allen just got better angles, got better timing. Like he has the power of a guy who's just been setting historic numbers. All you got to do is get the other stuff together. You know what I mean? But it's crazy to me, man. You know, these guys want to continue to say stuff about him because I think it is what you're saying. I think it is about the hype train. So, pressure, man. You know, the pressure is going to bust pipes. You know, somebody's going to be the weakest link. This is a question I find myself, you know, trying to answer, you know, a couple times a week, actually. What do you think the weakest position group is on the defense?
On the defense, I still would have to say it's tough. We were going to count safeties and cornerbacks different, right? Or we were just calling them all secondary? Are we doing like 3-level or 4-level to the defense, meaning D line, linebackers, corners, and safeties? Or are we going to
Every
count the?
group, every group. If you got your own room,
All right.
DBs share the same room, but no, we're gonna count safeties and cornerbacks separate.
Yeah, well, then I still want to say the safeties only because
Mhm.
I like the addition in Jaquiski Tart, but I think they're still the least proven in a sense of we only got 3 guys that we're trying to count on for 2 spots. But Jaquiski Tart is injury prone a little bit, and Anthony Harris is getting older. As far as the linebackers go, it's kind of unproven, but we're so versatile there now, and we still
Right.
count in Hassan Reddick as a linebacker / pass rusher specialist. So I think it still has to be safety. I'm not overly concerned, but I would still say that's probably the weakest, which still makes our defense. I'm happy if that's the weakest because we used to have a lot more weaker spots
Right,
than
right.
just safety.
And ironic, it is the weakest right now, but somehow I feel like it's kind of stronger than it's been in a while, though, with it being the weakest position group. So I'm not mad at that at all. Like when the last time I think it's actually fairly strong. Like Jaquiski Tart and Anthony Harris, they give you starter quality minutes. Then who knows what you're going to get? Well, it's still kind of weak when you get down to like the Kayvon Wallace. It's still kind of weak. Yeah, and Epps is still unproven. So if you have a major injury there, you could be in some trouble. So I think possibly bolstering that up. I really like the idea of Landon Collins. I know he don't do too much coverage, but I just really like that pick for the way our defense is built right now. Would you add at safety, or would you add somewhere else if you had to add tomorrow? If you knew you were going to add to the defense, where would you add at?
Probably in the safety group, only because of outside of injury, we're still not as deep. Cornerback don't really have me worried. But just let's be honest. If one of Slay or Bradbury goes down, now we're bringing the bulk of these unproven guys. Now I'm not saying a guy like Tay Gowan, Mario Goodrich, Josh Jobs, Zach McPherson can become something, but they're as big of a question mark as a Kevon Wallace to me. So I think we need to stay healthy, and so far under the Nick Sirianni regime, we've been pretty darn healthy. Both Slay and Nelson played, the whole season except for when we sat him out against the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, I still think that safety's probably that position, but I'm not sure. I think that nothing needs to be added until we find a problem, because I think that we got a good group of guys, and so we got to roll over some money. Who knows? I heard Philly 500 say something not about the safety position, but about the running back position. If the Eagles play this thing out the way we're playing it out in the offseason, right? We could find ourselves in a situation where it's 2017 again, and we're feeling really good about this team, and we go ahead and add a crucial running back, a safety, a playmaker on one side of the ball at the deadline, because we have some tradable pieces and some cap flexibility. So I like to keep it how we are right now for now.
Even if that means you can get Bates.
That would be the only one that I would say we don't got to wait for that. He's a 100% upgrade.
He's a 100% upgrade. I agree, but the team is so well built right now. You don't know where you're gonna need that piece at to get over the hump. It might not be safety. You might be really fine at safety. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm not opposed to that plan at all. That 500 put out there. You know what I mean? And waiting to just see what you need right now. That takes discipline, because there's a lot of guys that's leaving teams that actually want to play for us. You know what I mean? But for Jesse Bates, if you can do it, I guess you do it. I'm not mad at that either, but I hold on to what you got, man, because that's going to cost you some capital and it's going to cost you some money, man. Before we get into these quick super chats real quick, got to let you know, man. Definitely got to let you know, because Mike is also Team Manscaped. So I would be doing us a disservice, man. Tap in with Manscaped, man. Use code Brunson, say 20% off, get the free shipping, and the free shipping I for that for y'all. What's your code, Mike?
Philly Mike.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So listen, what do we training camp? Training camp in the way that Nick Sirianni is choosing to rest some of these players. I think that kind of adds to us being healthy and being we're used to just being riddled with injuries, and that ended a lot of seasons for us. Do you want us to kind of scale it up in training camp? I feel like you gotta kind of scale it up at some point. I feel like training camp is the most competitive you've been since you got these pieces. Everybody's going to be there. We don't have any disgruntled employees. I feel like you should kind of scale it up and scale it back for those guys that's rehabbing like Brandon Graham.
Yeah, I agree. When OTAs were late May, early June, you could have practiced 13 times. That was the most. If you were a team, an organization that believes in practice, we talk about practice, right? You would have been able to go 13 times. The Eagles only went 6, so that was less than half. Last year when we were doing that, I was questioning it, but I saw the what happened, and it was good injury wise. I think this is where he is going to. I think he fall back on OTAs. He's gonna ramp it up for these joint training camp practices with the Browns and the Dolphins, I believe, and then he's gonna fall back once again in preseason football. So I think this is where you're going to be able to find out if you have some gems, find out where you're kind of hurting, and there's two good teams to go against because the DBs for the Cleveland Browns are really good, and same with the Miami Dolphins. Plus, Miami Dolphins receivers, they're one of the teams that are top 5 wide receiver core with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Cedric Wilson. Plus, their tight end's pretty good. So we're going to get a nice bang for a buck to see what Slay, Bradbury, Maddox, and the safety group does, the whole defense, against a top-flight offensive wide receiver core.
Yeah, that's true, man. But is it top flight with Tua? We're going to see, though. You know what I mean?
I said
We're
wide
gonna see.
receiver.
Right. We're going to see. You know what I mean? But shout out to my guy, Malcolm Fripp. He said, we're going to be scary good. Just watch. Shout out to you for the super chat, bro. I agree, man. Definitely agree. My guy, Mr. Woods, what's going on, bro? Thank you for the super chat. What up, LB and Philly? Mike, great shows. PSP. What's PSP?
I don't know. I don't know.
My guy, Mr. Woods, again, Fly Eagles Fly. Shout out to you, man. But so I'm still scared about, Nick Sirianni, bro. I still have no idea what he's going to do with these additions. I feel like the additions are there. I feel like, there's no excuses for him. We like to say no excuses for certain people, but he's one of the people that I got to see change from. Man, I've not seen change from him. And, with these pieces, man, you got to be able to produce stops. You got to be able to get turnovers, and you got to have the right people on the field. Is Nakobe Dean a day one starter for you?
I believe he's going to be one of the risers in this camp, and he'll make his way to starting. I don't think that I think he'll start, and I think he'll be on the field a lot because we play a lot of nickel. I think the whole NFL is going to a lot more heavy nickel packages. But I think when we get into our he might stay on the field at all, but I know that TJ Edwards will make his way on some of the bigger 4-3 regular packages because of what he can do, stopping the run. Not saying that Kobe Dean can't. I believe he's going to be our all-around versatile linebacker that don't really come off. I think it'll be like when we know we got to stop the run, we bring in TJ Edwards. When we know it's a passing, we bring in Kaiser White. But I think Dean makes his way on the field and stays.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm anxious to see what he brings to the table for real, because nobody really not talking about him. Like I hate when you get a good player and he seems to be forgotten. Now, listen, throw all the stuff you did away in college, but still just remember who you are. You know what I mean? Like, still play the same way with the same confidence and the same attitude that made you who you are. And I think we got guys who you don't have to tell that to, because a lot of these guys was good in college. You know what I mean? Wide receiver cores, man, like, where would you really rank the Philadelphia Eagles? Like, if you had to say top 5 wide receiver cores, would you have the Philadelphia Eagles in that list?
Yeah, I would have us in there. Probably 4. I think I would probably go maybe. I know the Bengals receiver core is legit. Again, we're not talking about who's throwing the ball to him, but Miami's is up there because I do think that, Cedric Wilson is a really good slot and third guy. And then you got Reek and you got Waddle. I still put the Bucks up there because I like that little Scotty Miller guy to play alongside of what do you call it? Both Godwin and Evans.
Yeah,
and then that's where I look. Maybe the Rams, maybe the Raiders, because I do like Hunter Renfrow. He's pretty nice alongside of Devontae
Bills.
Adams.
The Bills just got crazy. Did the Bills get Odell? Was that like a real thing?
I was a
I heard. Yeah, I think like yesterday or the day before, the Bills might have got Odell. Somebody in the chat let me know if the Bills got Odell. That definitely probably put them like top 3.
That might, because I like Davis Gabriel Davis.
Yeah, he had like a 200-yard game in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he was cooking. You know what I mean? And they still lost, but Yeah, I mean, if the Bills got Odell, I got us like right outside of the top five. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot of good. A good those teams got a lot of good third guys. Quez is a really really good third guy as well, but I want to see a little more of it, man. You know what I mean? I want to see what kind of team we're going to be before I say we got that kind of core. Because if you got a top five wide receiving core, then you got two guys that's probably going to get 1,000 yards. I mean, you passing the ball like that. So I don't know. It all remains to be seen, man. Are you worried about Miles Sanders at all?
No, I think I've always been a Miles Sanders guy. I think he has talent. I think, part of the reason is his injury history, of course. And I do agree with him. Opportunities haven't been there. Now, I understand why Nick Sirianni scaled back a little bit last year with him, because there was a couple plays where he was doing some bonehead stuff, like not going out of bounds, falling inside, and just doing things that we're like, come on, Miles, use your head. But I think this is his year to, he everything's on the table for him, whether he's a Philadelphia Eagle or another on another organization with another organization. His one chance to get a contract relies on this year. So I think he has to be the best version of himself going forward, because running backs really only get paid once. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, they might get a big contract. And then if it's 5 years, they're still like 27, 28, they might get another contract. Running backs get one contract.
That's
Pretty much.
Point.
Because if 4 or 5 years as a rookie on a rookie contract, you get paid that one thing. By the time your next contract up, running backs they don't have that lifespan as a quarterback or a wide receiver or an offensive lineman. So they get one chance to get paid. This is his chance to get paid.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm not really worried about him, you know what I mean, in terms of Miles Sanders, but the walls are closing in on him. You know what I mean? He very well could. I think he got to just go. I think he got to go crazy. He might have to lead the league in rushing or something like that to like force his way to stay around. Seriously, think about it. Like Gainwell is on his helmet. Like Gainwell is right there. You know what I mean? This is like a Zeke Tony Pollard situation all over again, except our Zeke and Miles Sanders ain't get paid. You know what I mean? So they could just like do away with him. So you know what I mean? Like Gainwell is getting so close, and Gainwell is really effective on those swing passes. And those are the passes I think Jalen Hurts needs to consistently make to take him to the next level. Like I seen Tom Brady. Now, don't get me wrong, Tom Brady tore up a bunch of teams last year, but Tom Brady was crazy proficient with dumping the ball down. Like didn't Fournette kill us like that? Like those running backs get the ball for Tom Brady. That's how it's always been his whole career. So if Jalen Hurts picked up anything from a guy like Tom Brady, I hope it was that. You know what I mean? Use the outlets when nothing downfield is available. Just keep the chains moving. Positive yards are good yards. And Kenneth Gainwell, he kind of brings a little more versatility when he's in a lineup, because Jalen Hurts recognizes him flashing out of the flats for some reason way more than he does Miles Sanders, and he gets him the ball. So I think Gainwell is proven to be more of an asset. Miles Sanders, he got to go above what he's done. Like Miles Sanders got to rush for like close to 1,100 yards, in my opinion, to like make a strong case to stay, because Gainwell will be on a rookie deal for like 3 more years. So
yeah, and I wanted to just say real quick, I think that even hurts him in the sense of if he has a top 3 or leads the league in rushing, that means you're going to have to pay him top 5. And because of what Gainwell offers this team and the fact that we don't pay running backs, I think he's in a very bad position to be an Eagle next year. Because if he stinks, well, we're not going to pay him. If he's really good, we're not going to pay him because it's going to cost too much. That's good for him in his career, because he'll get a bag from somewhere. But I think it's a fine line. If he's not good enough, we're going to let him go. If he's too good, we're going to let him go, because I think the Eagles won't pay top dollar for a running back. So he has to be, in that middle ground. I mean, I hope he's as productive as possible, but if he's going to have to take a middle-ish of the pack type contract if he wants to be an Eagle. And so that's going to be up to him, his agent, and what he produces in 2022.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm honestly surprised that he didn't get traded. Like, I really thought that was going to happen this offseason. The offseason not over. Like, I don't want it to happen, but it seems like a strong possibility. But, it is what it is, man, when you're talking about that position. How do you feel about the quarterback room? I don't think I ever asked you this offseason. Now, obviously, we know Jalen Hurts is going to be the starter. Would you feel okay with this roster if Jalen Hurts had to come in, and Gardner Minshew had to come in like week 9 the rest of the way? Do you think you would still be able to win a division with this roster?
Yeah, I think this roster, again, we know what Jalen Hurts has to get better at, but I think this is a roster that will make him better. It will enhance any quarterback that's playing because of, the offensive line doing their job, the running game. We have a bunch of guys that can run the ball between the tackles and outside, and then the wide receivers. When you're open, it's a lot easier to get the ball, throw a ball accurately. You don't got to throw it in tight windows. So I think Gardner Minshew can come in and do the job. If we want to talk arm strength, that is a guy like, again, can he win games? Can he be accurate? Can he do this, that, and the third? Read defenses? Yes. But Gardner Minshew's a guy who definitely has more of a noodle arm in that regards than Jalen Hurts. But yeah, we saw what he did. He carved up the Jets last year. Again, one of them touchdowns. That ball was looking duckish in the air when Dallas Goedert caught it. But again, he makes the right play. And I think that, when you, in terms of backups, there's probably not many that I would want over Gardner Minshew. But again, depending on how other team situations are, this could be your solid backup for 1 year because he's very cheap too, or a legit trade piece again come mid-season when we really know what this team is about.
Yeah, man. I honestly can't wait, man. So did you see the wide receiver list? They came out by ESPN.
No, I did not see that.
They did a top 10 wide receiver list. I want to say like 4 days ago. Damn, I got it in my phone. I'm gonna read this off to you real quick. Of course, you know why I'm outraged. AJ Brown didn't make the list. Right. AJ Brown didn't make the list, and I believe that he should have been on the list. Let me see if I got it in here on my phone. Yeah, here we go right here. So number 1 was Devontae Adams. Number 2 was Cooper Kupp. Number 3 was Jamar Chase. Number 4 was Justin Jefferson. This is where I got to stop you right now, though. Justin Jefferson should be top 3. I mean, Jamar Chase just got here. You know what I mean? Listen,
but he also broke Justin Jefferson's record.
That could be a fluke, though. That he probably, you know what I mean? He probably be terrible next year. You never know. Justin Jefferson showed me that I could duplicate this type of season. Like he showed me like this automatic for me. So that's why I feel like Justin Jefferson would be top 3. But Jamar Chase a dog. Make no mistake about it. Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs at 6, DeAndre Hopkins at 7, at 8 Mike Evans, at 9 Deebo Samuels, at 10 DK Metcalf. This is why this list really pissed me off, Mike.
Yeah.
Besides the AJ Brown thing, DK Metcalf, DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson being in the top 10 after we just didn't grab either one of them those 2 years. That bothers me a little bit. But based upon the people that I named, who could you take off for AJ Brown? I think 1 or 2.
Yeah, I would say you can argue to Deebo, DK, and AJ Brown.
Not Deebo.
Deebo? Overall receiver, we're not talking about running back stats, right? Because he gets a lot of carries.
No. I'm not saying Deebo should be off. No, I'm saying that Deebo and AJ should be on the list. That's my argument.
So, you think Deebo's better than DK?
Yeah, last year Deebo was better than DK. I think.
It's hard
That's
going
tough.
off last year because AJ Brown had his worst season for the simple fact that he was injured. He missed 6 games.
No, but then he had 140 yards in the playoff game. So he was back, and then he cooked San Fran week 15. So he was showing you who he still was. They lost the playoff game, but I see what you're saying though. Like if you count regular season stats, I think I would have to take DK off for AJ Brown or D Hop. Like D Hop had 500 yards last year due to injury. You know what I mean?
Injury, but D Hop is he's a dog.
D Hop a savage.
He's a dog.
This list was hard. This list was hard for me though, man, because everybody good in their own right. Now, it's interesting that you brought up Deebo Samuels though, because he's still a wide receiver. And I feel like AJ Brown is starting to be classified as like something other than a wide receiver because he's a physical wide receiver. I just think all wide receivers should be judged the same way, but they all do. Like AJ Brown to me is like, now that he's an Eagle, they treat him like the Jalen Hurts of wide receivers. Just because he's strong and physical. Oh, but he because he ain't running routes and being pretty. I just don't get it. I feel like AJ Brown and Deebo Samuels, deserve the same respect as some of these quote unquote more technical guys.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
As we talked about, or as we both said and respectfully by ourselves, AJ Brown's first season, he only caught 52 passes, but had over 1,000-something yards because he got 20 yards per catch. So the notion that he has a full route tree. Like I like to say, we got Devontae Smith as the technical route runner and then the physical wide receiver. That's me just saying and showing how much they complement each other. But AJ Brown can run the route tree. So can Deebo Samuels. But again, I think when you look at overall, just wide receiver in general, again, I'll give you that though. DK, Debo, and AJ Brown, you can fight to see 8, 9, 10, or 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11 is where I would have them, and you can kind of switch them around there. But they're the only two. I think everybody else is on their list for a reason, like you said. And I know we
This,
don't want to give
this,
Jamar Chase his flowers yet, but he's a dog
no,
too.
he's a dog. But this is my thing though. I feel like a lot of those technical guys are only good with certain quarterbacks. Now listen, let me explain. Devontae Adams, I don't think he's Devontae Adams with Tannehill throwing the ball. You see what I'm saying? Devontae Adams ain't breaking a lot of tackles and all of that. I just don't think Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams with Tannehill throwing him the ball. All guys like Debo Samuels and AJ Brown need is grass in front of them.
True
You
that.
know what I mean? If it's two people and grass in front of them, they be running people over and still scoring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just need I just feel like they can work with a guy like Tua, who not known for the deep ball yet. They can work with a guy like Hurts, who not known for the deep ball yet. I just feel like the Devontae Smith type guys, they need an Aaron Rodgers. Or you know what I mean? They need somebody with the crazy angles to complement the beauty of the route tree that they run.
You're right, because again, you're not going to throw the ball to like a Stephon Diggs or Devontae Adams at the line of scrimmage and let them go ahead and do all the work, all the yak. But we've seen guys like Hopkins, who's had different and bad quarterbacks his whole career, just ball out. And I will say, look at Cooper Kupp, perfect example, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy was just a receiver when Jared Goff was throwing him the ball. When Jared Goff was throwing him the ball, he was just a guy who had like 800 yards. Matthew Stafford starts throwing the ball, and this man, the triple crown.
Right.
Most receptions and most yards. So, like, quarterbacks matter, schemes matter, all that stuff. You know, if you can't have more yards than the guy who has 40. He gets 14 targets a game. This guy gets 5 targets a game. No matter what, the 14 target over time is going to have more production, even if he's not the better receiver necessarily. But that's what I like about AJ Brown. For whatever you want to say about Jalen Hurts, and I understand, I do have concerns about what he's going to be, if he's going to, what kind of steps he's going to take. I believe in him, though. That's the thing. Like, people just think that because I'm a Hurts fan and I believe in him, that I'm blind by everything. No, but we did see AJ Brown with a middle of the pack type quarterback in a scheme that favors the run game. 30 plus runs a game still get his numbers. And though that's why I feel comfortable that he's not going to be diva-ish. Like, if Devontae Adams would have come to the Eagles, he can cause a problem because he's used to getting 15 targets.
Right.
AJ Brown had 52 catches and did the most with them, 20 yards per catch. He knows how to turn little opportunities into big ones. And so I think, no matter what happens, we're going to be able to get production from this offense.
Exactly. I like it because I think he understands that there's two sides to the coin. You know what I mean? Howie Roseman did such a great job. We weren't even really thinking about A.J. Brown, but it makes so much sense. Like, A.J. Brown understands the importance of catching one of his targets, just like he understands. It's equivalent to run blocking for him. There's no greater, they're both even on the scale. So, I like a guy who can, do everything. And it's some of these diva wide receivers on a run play, they just stand there. They don't even touch nobody. They literally just stand there. Randy Moss did it his whole career. D-Jax used to do it. D-Jax used to run up. When D-Jax was young, he'd run up and fake like he about to be physical. He'd just get in your way. You know what I mean? A.J. Brown is trying to drive you down the field. And, like, you need that if you're trying to break some of these big runs. So I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with the physical wide receiver over the pretty guy. We got a pretty guy anyway. You know what I mean? And our pretty guy run block. So, I'm good with that. Offensive line, man. Like, do you have any concerns? Do you still feel like that's the strongest group on the team?
Yeah, I still feel like it's the strongest group. There was this notion going around a little bit ago that the Eagles' offensive line is great at run blocking, but we're not that great of a pass blocking offensive line. That is just lies. I mean, we're in top 5 as a offensive line group in its totality, blocking for the pass and the run. I think Jalen Hurts was only sacked like. I lost it. I did look it up because I was going to make a video about that last week because I heard, some tweets and some rumblings that the Eagles offensive line ain't as good at pass blocking, but I believe it's the strongest unit. We got veterans on here that are still playing at a high level, and we got young guys in here that can possibly give the veterans a run for their money, like Landon Digger. That left side is probably as strong or even stronger because we don't know how Seumalo will play on the right side. And I believe he gets the first crack alongside of Lane Johnson.
Lane,
But
yeah.
Lane's been talking spicy. First of all, that man is a
Dog, did you
grown
see
man.
it? Did you see it, dog? Did you see? Oh, yo,
He's a beast.
I'm scared of that, man. Because once you do that, and you got the track record Lane got, man, you know them tests coming. They coming like the SATs.
And
They come,
didn't he get caught with it before?
yeah, earlier on in his career,
Early
I
in his
believe.
career, that
Carson
PED.
Wentz's rookie year when we were 3-0. Then we lost Lane for like 9 games or something. Then it all went to hell. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But I think Lane learned this lesson. You know what I mean? Lane looking good. Lane
Paved the
looking
lane.
good. Right. You know what I'm saying? Lane looking good, man. I can't wait, bro, because I feel like Nick Sirianni understands. He understands a little bit better, man. So we had some reports come out during the offseason as well that he wasn't calling the plays when we went on his run. Now, that made me respect Nick Sirianni so much more because it take a real man to step back from that seat, man, that position of power of running the show to say, you know what? I'm gonna focus on making sure that the mental headspace of the team is okay. I'm gonna make sure the morale of the team is okay. I'm gonna make sure the competitive nature stays within the team. I'm gonna let the guys that got these titles handle their job. Dog, I feel like that will extend his career as a coach. If you already understanding that calling plays is not his strong suit, you know what I mean? I'm excited for this team, man, because by him knowing that now, I feel like you're going to get much more of a diversified offense. We really only had a tale of 2 tapes. You know what I mean? Show me the stretch where we was playing great mixed up football. It doesn't exist. We either were pass heavy or run heavy. Now this is the year where I feel like you got to balance it out, be kind of 60-40-ish or something like that. You know what I mean? So are you okay with, letting the play calling stay the way it is with the offensive coordinator now doing his job?
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And like you said, it's head coaches, some of them have the biggest egos. For him to say, bro, I'm gonna change it up, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third, whether it's making sure the game plan is more heavier run, whether it's giving your play calling duties up and being perfectly fine with it. Head coaches, especially your first chance, could be stubborn. And, leashes are not that long anymore in the NFL for players and coaches. If you're not producing things, they're going to change things up. So I ain't mad at it. I think, we either got to slow down on the screens or we got to start doing them better because at one time we were a little bit too heavy with the screen, wide receiver screen, running back screens. And I remember there was a day where we were really killing it. And I think we have the players to execute screens. Like Kelsey, one of the best second and third level blockers. And you got elusive guys like Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, Quez Watkins. So I just think we need to execute better. And I think we need to make sure we're not getting no more wide receiver. What's the penalty we got like 8 times in the season where
the legal contact?
The legal contact. We get
wide
receiver.
The pick play.
Yeah, the pick play. We got to stop that. But again, I think Kenny G can do a lot of things in the backfield, receiving the ball too. And I wanted to say this when we were talking about Miles and Kenny G real quick, and I pulled it up on my phone. Kenneth Gainwell had 107 touches, and he made a first down or a touchdown on 40 of them. Think about that. That's like 37, 38%. That's crazy. 107 times he touched the ball. 40 of them were either a first down or a touchdown. This man know how to get it done. And that's why Kenny G gonna low key creep his way up there. That's crazy.
Bro,
40.
That's a wild stat. That's a wild stat, dog. The stat that I always wanted to figure out, but I've been too lazy to look up was, how many times did we run screenplays? How successful were they? And what side of the field did we run them to? Because I feel like it's almost criminal. What we saw during that, like during down the probably the beginning of the season in the second half, Mailata and Dickerson and Lane Johnson have been just looking to eliminate people.
Oh yeah.
When you see film of these dudes in the open field, they trying to just lay people out. Like you should be running screens behind that left side. I just haven't seen much of it, man. And it's stuff like that, man, make me kind of wonder about the play calling and who the hell was doing it then. Maybe it was Nick. I'm glad he demoted himself because we need everything. You have to have a bag for everything this off season, man. You can't be lacking in no areas. Like we were trash at quick slants. Like a lot of shit got to change for us to get the results that we really happy about, man. A lot of stuff got to change, man. So it's not really all on Jalen Hurts. It's a lot of this is on the coaches to put the perfect game plan together 17 times this season. You got to do that, man. So, with that being said, the position battles. Let's talk a little bit about training camp. What position are you most excited to see scrap it out?
I mean, linebacker is the one that just like screams out for the simple fact that, is Davion Taylor okay with taking a back seat? TJ Edwards said I was the best linebacker on this team last year. Not saying too much, but man, I know you guys you got Kaiser Wait, but don't forget about me. And you got the new additions. You got a guy in Nakobe Dean who was the best linebacker in college football, got a chip on his shoulder. He's young and he's looking for a spot. So I think that the linebacker position is going to be very fierce, competitive, and I'm all for it. Iron sharpens iron, and I think you get the best out there. But I'm also low-key looking at that third wide receiver spot because as much as I would love to give it to Quez, I think he complements them the best. Zach Pascal wasn't brought in for no reason, and he does have that, head coach and wide receiver connection. So he's good. He's a legit guy. And I did a video on how many times they both can play in a slot. And that's also what I want to credit Quez for, because in college, Quez Watkins never played the slot, and he played the slot a lot this season, this past season, and he's gotten better from it. So I like that third wide receiver spot. Sorry, Regger, I'm already kicking you out. I mean, you can fight for it too, but I mean, it's what it is.
I feel like Pascal ain't come here to just lay down either. You know what I mean? I feel like Pascal going to bring a different level of aggression that we pretty much ain't see, man. My guy Pistol 2030 said, what up, LB? What's going on with you, bro? What up? Let me see. We got a couple more. Kevo said, I seriously believe Sirianni one of them ones, fellas. Listen, it's a very high chance. It's a very high chance. I ain't mad at that, man. I'm definitely not mad at that. In fact, I hope it shake out that way. You know what I mean? Bird Gang 336. He said, LB, I owe you an apology. I slept on your music, but I listened. You fire G, Smoke Salmon Fire. I'm buying the album. I'm gonna support this man, real rep. I appreciate you, bro. I mean, listen. Fire. The fact that you slept. You know what I mean? You're tripping. But no. I get it, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody that listen, bro, for real. I put a lot of hard work into, putting the best thing out for y'all. And he made me forget I was about to start talking about music. So for me, it's cornerback, bro. It's cornerback. I really want to see the cornerbacks fight it out. Now, you already know about Slay and Bradbury. But them unsigned free agents that we signed before we got Bradbury, it was a lot of hype around them guys, man, because somebody was going to eventually have to get some playing time. You know what I mean? I really want to see how those. I want to see about Mario Goodrich. Didn't he get the highest contract for like his position or something like that?
Well, he was the highest paid
undrafted
rookie free agent. But then Carson Strong, when we signed him, the quarterback, that probably would have been drafted if it wasn't for his knee problems. He beat him. And you know how everybody likes to come at you in the comment section, because literally I make the Mario Goodrich video of him the highest paid undrafted, and then the next day we signed Carson Strong that's higher than them, and everybody coming in and correcting me, and I'm like, right. The date he had that record for 24 hours. Let him
he did. I mean that definitely happened. But yeah, man, I want to see what they bring to the table, man. I hear the kid Job from Alabama is good. You know what I mean? I want to see what they bring to the table, because if somebody get injured, which could be a possibility as well, fingers crossed, somebody got to step up too, man. I'm excited for Maddox. I think Maddox gonna have a really good season, bro. I'm excited for Maddox, man. The growth has been there. Yeah, man, it's going to be a lot of crazy battles all across training camp, man. So
that Jimmy Moreland dude, remember we signed him as well, ex-Washington, blah, 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 blah team. He's going to be that guy, I think, that can help relieve Maddox a little bit. If Maddox does get banged up, I think he's pretty good at the slot. He can play inside and outside as well. But I look at Jimmy Moreland as a guy who's really going to make some noise to be that possible fourth guy, or a guy who can come in if there is an injury. But you got to have corners, because we don't play dime. We didn't have the personnel last year to play dime, according to JG. But there are going to be times where you got to bring out four, maybe even, 4 DBs. And so that fourth and fifth guy might still get some PT. So that battle's going to be good too. I agree with you.
Yeah, let me see if I got the schedule right here. I want to see if we could pinpoint some of those games where we might be, damn, I don't have it up here. Some of those games where we might be a little, cornerback heavy. Because what's some great passing attacks in the National Football League? Great passing attacks. And it's going to be a lot of, coaches looking at you probably, isolate Darius Slay or isolate Bradbury, you know what I mean? Bring them away from the play. And you know what I mean, kind of pick on the slot corner and other guys that's guarding out there. So we'll see, man. Jersey boy, man, with all the talent on this team, coaching is crucial. Shout out to you, bro, for the super chat. Gannon got to be aggressive and force turnovers. Offense needs to be explosive all over the field. I think it has to be that way. There's no way you could come out here playing 8 yards off coverage. If that happens, players need to riot. Players need to start speaking out against it, man, because y'all got the firepower to win a damn championship. Seeing Fletcher Cox in the flats was just disrespectful, man. We got 404 people in the chat on a Sunday, man. Thank y'all for tapping in the GOAT Talk, man. Mike, what you got coming up for the weekend, for the week?
Hey, we gonna be getting ready for training camp.
Facts.
That's pretty much it, man. This is where all the stories come out. This is where, the start of the season, it might sound so little, right? And we can't, I want to, let you guys know, if I see Jalen Reagor catching one hand, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to, believe it until I see it on the field. But there are storylines that we can watch and follow and just continue to see if some of the stuff that we've been hearing it's adding up. And that is, coaching staff, Jalen Hurts, how these DBs do against some of the top wide receivers in joint practices and stuff like that. So, this is where it's going to get heavy. And I do believe the Eagles are going to treat these Cleveland Browns and Miami Dolphin joint practices more heavier than preseason. Before we get out of here, though, I wanted to ask you, LB, would you play Jalen Hurts a lot in the preseason, or would you say, nah, we don't need to? Or would you like to play him, get some stats?
I'll play him for one series every game and tell him that you don't run. You are not to run for none. You are not to run. I mean, you really can't say that. You gotta let him use his natural instincts. You gotta let him be him. But I would call plays that's just for. I would call like 3-step drop and pass, them type of plays. You know what I mean? Like quick count plays. Right. I would call all rhythm plays. Get him used to throwing to the flats. I would call stuff like that. You know what I mean? When it's time for you to extend the field and go crazy and throw deep balls, then let Carson Strong and all of them do all of that, man. But yeah, man, you got to play him, man. Get him in an early rhythm, man. Get the juices flowing, let him shake off the rust. As far as training camp go, I'm not believing nothing nobody say. I'm not believing none of these reports. I'm just not going to do it. If you're not producing video evidence, if you're just going to post something and say, oh, he was horrible like this, whatever, bro. Whatever. I might even make I'm so tired of these people, Mike. I might even make a video on it. Where's the damn video of him being of this happening? Then I can talk about something accurate for a change, man. But yeah, man, I can't wait, man. And next time, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if we're gonna do our final 32 quarterback list. We still got to knock that out at some point, but we are trying to start ramping up to doing GOAT Talk at least once a week for a while. You know what I mean? After camp. Preseason is coming, and then we off to the races, man. Who knows? We might as well stream like one of the preseason games if we can, just to get back in the flow because it's about to get crazy this season, Mike. Everybody gonna be busy. You're gonna be streaming. I'm me, you, Philly 500. It's about to be crazy, man. But yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Don't forget to tap in, man. The Hurt Season hat's still available. Footprints coming out this Friday. It's going down, man. It's going down, man. Thank y'all, man. Love y'all, man. This is GOAT Talk, and we out. Enjoy your Sunday. Eat your dinner, and fly, Eagles, fly.
Peace.